Okay, today we're going to look at OTT because it is the legend reward for this season in global. So let's get started. Okay, so we're here on VG0meta.com. We built a deck. This is our non-budget OTT deck. This is the Tsukuyomi build. This is what we're aiming for when we're going to build OTT nowadays. And you can see the key pieces here are we have 3 Silent Toms, that's our 3 triple Rs. We've got 4 Tsukuyomis, and we have 4 Amaterasu. Now, these are the hardest to get, but in terms of importance, Tom is the most important card. Luckily, you don't need 4 of him. 3 is usually enough, and if you have 2, that's also fine. But he is the main win condition of Oracle Think Tank. If you play any Oracle Think Tank deck, this is the guy that will give you the wins, probably, right? His effect just lets you ignore your opponent's null guards. Are green up now. During the battle, this unit attacks your opponent's sentinels, does not activate. So the idea is that you swing them to 5, and this guy just kills them, and you hope they don't 6 damage heal. The other triple R is Tsukuyomi. This card lets you build this deck. If you don't have Tsukuyomi, don't bother building Tsukuyomi deck. And finally, Amaterasu is just like a solid grade 3 that you just put in. If you don't have her, that's kind of fine, but right now is the perfect time to get her because she is the legend reward card, so you're gonna be easily getting 4 of her. If you just get to legend 50, grind your way there, 4 easy. And even if you don't have 4 of her, that's fine. You'll probably just pick one up later or just replace her with another card. She's not incredibly important. Her effect is pretty nice. She lets you scry the top card of your deck, and she also gets 4k, so she hits like 21 with a 7k booster. So that's all good. But let's talk about this deck a bit. You know, you're running the Tsukuyomi starter, the entire ride chain. That's very good. The other rare cards in this deck is the perfect guard, and that's pretty much about it. The rest of this deck is just like rares and commons. But look, you always need 4 perfect guards now. I can't stress, like, everything has crits, and everything is just gonna get more crits later on. So getting 4 null guards ASAP is really easy. Well, really important. Maybe not easy, but you know, if you grind VPs, you also get at least 2 sentinels this season. So get your nulls. All right. Tsukuyomi ride chain. This is actually very important. The Oracle Guardian Gemini, AK boosting a Silent Tom equals 16, and that is the number we want to hit nowadays because everything is 11. This card actually becomes less important in the next few sets when we get cross rides. We get MLB, he's 12k base. Dote is 13k base, and Phantom Blaster Overlord is 13k base. 8+8 doesn't really hit like anything good anymore, so a lot of people just replace that with like another card. It's really up to you. Right now, it's still good, so keep this in. And then this is kind of these cards that let you filter your hand, kind of are part of the Tsukuyomi build. They let you filter or go through your deck quicker. You can see this requires a 6 cards in soul requirement, but then when you do, you can draw a card and put a card to the bottom of the deck. So it lets you reach your stack quicker. So one thing with Tsukuyomi is that every time you use these ride chain effects, you look at the top 5 cards of your deck, and you pick like the next grade up of the ride chain, you ride it, and then the 4 go to the bottom of your deck. So you actually know what 4 cards at the bottom of your deck. This is the same with the grade 1 and the grade 2. So you'll get to a point where you know all the cards at the bottom of your deck, and then you want to filter to your stack, and then start triggering exactly when you want to be. Now, in Zero, you don't actually get to, you know, manipulate like how to, you know, stack properly, right? You can't just, you look at the 4 in paper Vanguard, you can actually just change the order. You put like 2 triggers together and 2 blanks wherever. This, in Zero, doesn't let you do that. So you have to have these cards that will let you filter through your deck as well, even when you reach the stack, so you can hit triggers and not hit like blanks. So you have a bunch of these cards that let you do that. You have Faithful Angel at grade 2 that lets you do that too, and your Secretary Angel does that as well at grade 3. But this is basically the grade 1, very easy to build. Again, the only other rare card apart from these triple Rs are your null guards. So that's pretty much it. Your grade 2, you have your Tsukuyomi grade 2 ride chain. This is actually really important because when you place this card on the Vanguard circle, you get to soul charge too, and that will help you just reach 6 cards in soul very quickly, and will let you basically make the entire deck active. So if you want to play it safe, if you see this grade 2 in your, just keep it in your hand. You don't want to risk not riding it at all. So yeah, keep this one. Grade 2s, you have your 12k hitter with Tagitsehime. Again, 6 soul requirement. Silent Tom, your win condition. And we talked about Faithful Angel, just kind of hitting your stack and making sure you manipulate your triggers. And then finally, we have your grade 3 Tsukuyomi. If you have 6 or more soul, you just draw 2 cards and put a card in your hand into soul. Nice way to dig through your deck and get your nulls. Amaterasu, backup grade 3. Secretary Angel, the card that lets you, filter, similar to grade 2 and grade 1. And lastly, we have a flex slot. I'm playing Omniscience Madonna. So on hit, you can discard a card and draw a card. So that's actually not very hard to pull off because basically everything hits in Vanguard Zero. So that's pretty much the entire deck. You can see this deck actually runs stands. So stands are very nice in this deck because of Tom. You want to hit your opponent to 5, okay? So you don't want to if you run crits, you have the chance where you trigger a crit, your opponent is able to use their null, and then your entire turn just becomes jank because Tom itself is like kind of a weak card, and you want to be able to hit to 5 and then start comboing your opponent from there. Like you either drain their null guards with stands, or you just auto kill them with a Silent Tom. You don't want to trigger a crit and then your turn becomes super jank, right? That's why stands are just better. They're just better. You have a bunch of cards that hit over. You have like Tagitsehime here. You have 10Ks. Well, 10Ks kind of suck now. That's the problem. But you have ways to just poke out their intercepts, and the stands will just let you do what you need to do. Okay, so that's pretty much the deck. Let's move to like a budget build, right? This is maybe you want to build this deck, but right now you have a bunch of janky cards. What are you gonna do? So here is like a budget version of this deck. And you see that there's only 2 Silent Toms. You have a bunch of janky grade 3s, and that's pretty much it. So this deck actually looks very similar to your old build of Oracle Think Tank back in set 1. Now, one thing I want to say about budget builds is that your grade 3s, don't worry too much of them. Find whatever grade 3s you have, dump them into your grade 3, and that's probably going to work. You see, don't take this as gospel. Okay, this grade 3 lineup is not gospel, except for the 4 Amaterasus. Amaterasus, again, prize card, you can probably start getting them, and they'll just serve as a great grade 3. But you got Sakya here, you got this guy, Apollon, he's good. You got a random Imperial Daughter, a Meter Break Wizard, and, Madonna again. What's going on here? Well, this is just nothing going on because you're a budget deck. Just put all of them in, and all of them are quite decent, right? Sakya is just a 14k hitter, can reset your field. Apollon, hand filter, puts back heals, draws your card, gets you some advantage. Imperial Daughter is your sweet janky card. It is restraint. You counterblast 1 to get rid of it for the turn. And then if you have no rear guards, this unit gets 10k and a crit. And this works on your opponent's turn as well. So if you just have intercepts at the front, he has to attack into the intercepts, and then this becomes 21k, and your opponent gets tricked. Unless they're razors, then they will just crit you in the face anyway. But this is just a nice, fun card, but sometimes comes in handy. And look, if you have it and you're on a budget, just put it in, because it'll do its job okay. But just don't put like 4 of it in and then just run out of counterblast and you can't attack. You have to at least play a bit smarter with this card. And the other good thing is that she's 11k, so 11k on defense is good, sometimes 21k. And then the last 2 cards, you have Meter Break Wizard. I talked about Meter Break Wizard before. Similar cards to this as well. Counterblast 1, get 3k, 13 plus 8, 21, done. Alright. With the nulls, this is probably the other hardest card to get when you're on a budget. Again, fill it up with other cards. You can fill it up with more Circle Magus or anything in the grade 1 slot, to be honest. OTT grade 1s are okay. They have multiple ways to like hit 9k, so at least they can poke out a trigger. I've only put 2 Silent Toms here because I think you at least need 2 Silent Toms to start OTT. If you don't have 2 Silent Toms, wait till you get Silent Toms. But if you have 2, that's enough. If you have 3, that's great. If you randomly pull 4, sure, just dump them in because you don't have much of a choice. But if you're putting more in, just like take out something like a Promised Daughter, or if you really don't like Wiseman, sure. But again, you're on a budget. 10Ks are fine. Maiden of Libra is pretty decent. It just gives you advantage on hit counterblast 2. And lastly, about Promised Daughter, it's just a 9k, and then if you have enough cards in your hand, you can just discard 1 to hit numbers. It helps you be more aggressive because you just need something that can kind of hit over a trigger, right? And since you're playing Dark Cat, this kind of lets you fill up your hand a bit better. And if you combo with that Dark Cat with Sakya, you can, draw even more cards. And then hopefully you can just kill your opponent with a Silent Tom, because it doesn't matter how many cards they have in their hand, it doesn't matter how many nulls they have in their hand, they can't stop a Tom. So that's pretty much the budget build of the deck. Let's talk a bit about the priority system you want to kind of, like, it's like the cheat sheet for OTT, okay? Okay, so this is the cheat sheet, OTT cheat sheet. So at the top I say, transition to Tsukuyomi when you have at least 2 Tsukuyomi grade 3s. So the reason why I say this is because 2 is kind of that okay number, because you have a ride chain that can help you search for it, and hopefully you have enough draw that can naturally draw into it. That's why 2 is kind of enough. You'll definitely be missing, okay, with only 2. But when you have 3, it's okay, it's all fine and dandy. You just transition into Tsukuyomi. Most of the Tsukuyomi cards are very lower rarity, so it shouldn't be that hard to get your Tsukuyomis. The immediate goals you want to aim for, you want to craft your Silent Toms followed by your Tsukuyomis, because Silent Tom makes any OTT deck good. Tsukuyomi is kind of only for Tsukuyomis. The thing is, people kind of want to save like crafting material, because Silent Tom coming out as like a tournament reward. So you have to like keep that in mind, okay? So do you want to play a deck now? Then if you do, then you want Silent Toms. If you want to wait, then go for Tsukuyomis, and hopefully the tournament reward, you just trade for it and you got the Silent Tom. So you have to keep that in mind. That is up to you, but generally I think the Silent Tom is way more important than the Tsukuyomi, basically if you want to play an OTT deck right now. So if you don't have grade 1s, and the only grade 1 that is really high rarity is the null, is just, you can run a Luck Bird, it's just draw a card, Circle Magus, or Maple. This is just basically a 9k hitter, or pretty much any grade 1. Any grade 1 in OTT kind of will just fill the nice niche of it just being a replacement grade 1. At grade 2 for the budget build, if you don't have a Maiden of Libra, just run the Mokka, the 11k hitter, or more Promised Daughters. That's pretty much it. In the Tsukuyomi grade 2s, they're all kind of low rarities, so you don't actually need any replacements. And then fill up your grade 3 with any of the following cards. Apollon, you have Meteor Break Wizard, Sakya, Urael. Urael's an interesting one, so in this game, it will just randomly bind one of your opponent's cards. And if you bind a null, that's good times. But the thing is, if you're playing a less, like, if you're not playing Dark Cat that both players draw, your opponent's hand can slowly get a bit more depleted, and the only cards remaining in their hand will be a null, or something that is just incredibly, like, irrelevant, right? So the Urael has a pretty decent chance of just binding a null, and then you just winning. So that is a pretty nice niche card that you can try out when you kind of don't have many options. Just put this card in, and it can randomly get you some wins. Talked about Madonna, it's just, you know, on hit, discard one, draw one. And then Imperial Daughter. These are all fine cards, just fill up your grade 3. And right now, get your Amaterasu. It is the current Legend Rewards. It's here for 2 weeks. Try and get at least like 2. In the English, you know, global release, there are a lot of VP farmers. You could probably even get 3 without much difficulty. Just keep on grinding it, and you get like 3 triple Rs, and you're done. Alright, that's it from me for now. Hopefully I'll be doing more of these in the future for other clans. Right now I'm just doing OTT because OTT is a Legend Reward, so there might be some more interest in that. If you've got any questions, let me know in the comments below, and if you like the stuff, just do like and subscribe. You know, that kind of stuff. That's basically it from me. Hope you guys have fun in Vanguard Zero, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Alright, bye!